he's getting it now.
Hey everyone, welcome to Heavy Metal Customs. As you can see, we're back to working on the 65 Galaxie 500 project, and Casey has been working his butt off on this thing. He's been sanding, and didn't you do a little sanding?
And then even more sanding.
Well, there you go. Let me show you where he's gotten. I mean, believe it or not, he's done pushed the car outside, took the big leaf blower and blowed all this out, the whole car and everything. So what dust you see right here is minuscule compared to what was in here. But let me show you the damage that we have now that he got the majority of it sanded down. Even though you have seen some of the damage in the other videos, I'm going to do a quick recap. Okay, got all this fender sanded down. Of course, you know, we got to cut that out and put that in there. Besides that, this fender here doesn't look too bad, but we're fixing to take it off, and that way we'll be 100%. Same way with the doors, like I showed y'all earlier, you know, right in the corners. Besides that, the rest of the door appears to be pretty decent. This quarter here is not killing us. We got some issues down there, a little around the wheel well, but not too bad. And of course that wavy replacement piece that they put in down there, we're going to fix that. But as you come up to the roof, that's where it starts to get ugly, as y'all can see all of that. Yeah, that's going to be some good work going on there. Trunk, not too bad. I mean, I don't see like no big bad rust spots or super dents in it, you know, like the roof. Y'all see that dent right there? Yeah. There's one somewhere in the center of it, hard to see. Rear panel, still got to get it sanded. Got to get the inside of the trunk. Looks like the trunk, it's got little issues around the normal spots, but nothing that, you know, would make you want to throw the trunk away and grab another one. This quarter, same story, that bad lower, but we have more wheel well damage on this one. In the front of the wheel well especially, and of course around this roof line. Well, somebody just had a field day putting that roof on that car. This door, not bad, same thing, just got bad corners. And we'll be cutting them out and putting in new metal. What'd you say about this fender here, Casey?
Got a big dent about where the balance is.
Okay, a big dent right in there, but at least it's not rusted through like the other one, so that's a good thing. We're still waiting on him to bring us a hood. So there's what we're dealing with so far. So now what we're going to do is some disassembly. We can go ahead and get the fenders off, get the doors off. You want to get the glass out before we take the doors off?
Probably.
Yeah, it'd be better safe than sorry. But we'll get the doors, the glass, we'll get the fenders, the headlight assembly off, the front valance, the trunk, and then we're going to go ahead and pull the dash out of it, right? Alright, well, enough yapping. Let's get busy. You know, when we disassemble something, here's how we do it. We just grab Ziploc sandwich bags, the cheap ones from the Dollar Tree, put a piece of white tape on them and write what's on there. That way we'll get the correct hardware and stuff will be kept. We'll have to get another one for all this front stuff right here. But we'll get that after we get the big pieces off. Alright, cool. We'll get the part. Well, here's a nice surprise. Y'all seen I just went to snatch that fender off. Apparently somebody decided to weld the fender to the rocker panel. Or that's fiberglass or Bondo or something. But anyway it goes, it's messing me up. So, we now have to pull out the wheel of death. And even though I'll probably die doing this, I'm going to try to cut that apart. Alright, now that we get all that taken off, some of that was a bit of a pain. But we can see a little more with what's going on. Like, that is nice and straight across there. I don't think that would need a whole lot of work to get it back to perfect. Oh, this fender well's great. That one over there, yeah, definitely needs some work. But our firewall, looking good through there. A bit of rollover right there, but we can fix that. I wanted to see this structural integrity of the body. Now the door's out of the way. I wonder. Okay, that was just paint bubble. Yeah, we might be okay. Yeah, that don't look bad at all. Yeah, not looking terrible. Trunk area. I mean, no. Not seeing no major issues there, but no more once Casey gets everything sanded. It'll look a little rough right there. But like I say, once we get the sanding done, we'll know more about them areas. Back here, that looks good. Looking good down through there. Yeah, not looking terrible at all. Wow, there's a heck of a hole right there, wasn't it? Yeah, we'll fix that. Looks like I cannot find one of these. So what I'm gonna have to do is just come across here and cut and reform all of this right here. Which that ain't no biggie. Sort of about like the driver's floorboard over there. I'll have to rebuild that out of some pieces or what have you. And I think that can be done without any issue. Going up to the firewall and everything, I don't see no issues there. Well, not too shabby. Alright guys, I know it's probably hard to hear. Casey's in there sanding. While he's doing that, I'm going to work on the panels out here. This is the passenger fender, as you can tell. And here's our, quote, bad spot of rust. What I'm going to do is clean this up and then cut this out. And we're going to make a patch panel for that spot there. And we'll check all these other spots that we see as well. Got all that bad cut out. Let me show you what that looks like. Yeah, this is the outside of it. On the outside, I mean, it don't look, oh my God, terrible. But the reason I cut the whole piece out, y'all see all that rust pitting in there. Yeah. So it's better to just do a whole piece. And that's what I done. Got a new piece of metal in there. Nicely run it around here, tack a couple of spots, cool it down. I just use a paper towel that's soaking wet, and just keep doing that a whole lot. But I think I got enough on the inside right now. I'm going to flip the fender over and start welding slowly and easily and cooling it down on the outside. Here's what it looks like when it's flipped over. Now, like I say, I'm going to go through there and weld, very easily keeping it cool. And after that, we'll let it cool down a little bit, and then we'll grind. We'll grind lightly. Do not want to make a bunch of heat and warp it up. Well, I seem to have that going my way. There's a couple of little spots that didn't get filled with weld. When I ground, the weld came out, which is no big deal because we will be putting a thin film, a filler over that before we, do a final sand on it. But while I got that primer on there, and I'm going to let it dry really well before I start with the filler, this fender still has a lot going on, unfortunately. If y'all can see these spots here? These are all low spots. Low, low, low there. I mean, you can literally feel them, and y'all can see them in the camera. What I'm going to try to do is take my hammer and my dolly and see if we can get them on out there a little bit. I mean, it still may need like a very thin coat of filler over it and a good sand, but the more we can get out, the better off we are. All right, I got my body hammer. Yeah, you'd think I would buy a new body hammer. I need to. But the big thing is, I got this one here. This one's 100% flat. So I'll hold it against here as I go in here and hit that spot. We'll find that spot. There it is. And I can't get the camera angle at it, guys, but as I'm holding this up against the fender, you can see daylight in there where there is a dent. So if you're looking down through it and you tap, 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 you can see that dent come on out and meet with it. That's how you know that getting her out there where she needs to be. Showing up on the camera, but the big sander I've got 80 grit on. You can see the big scratch marks from that, tough sandpaper. Lay a line all the way across it. We see we're still a shade low. nowhere near what we were. Same way with this spot here, right? They say high right there. We can take it. Work that one down there where we like it. Yeah, that feels good. These others are going to have to work just a little more. You guys probably won't get them perfect, but we'll get them out there a lot more where you don't have to take a ton of Bondo or filler or whatever you're using on there to cover them up. But I'm going to go ahead and keep going over this whole fender, try to hunt low and high spots, and take care of these. Alright, got that done. Got all of them dents out there pretty good. Just a light coat of filler will take care of that. And I went ahead and cleaned it. And what I'm doing is I do a section of this thing. I'm cleaning it with alcohol, letting it dry, and spritzing some primer on it. I'm just using some of the self-etching primer. It's great on bare metal. And I mean, yeah, we're going to end up doing the epoxy primer to seal everything when we get done. But I like putting this on for now. Then our body work will stick to this self-etching just fine. And then our epoxy can go on there. Now the next thing I'm going to do is roll up here. Y'all see that nice crease in that fender. That's going to be a pain. But I think I got it figured out. Give me 2x4 down here. And I have this dolly here. As you can see, it comes to a point. I'm just going to keep this thing in there and make sure I have that point right on that crease. Then I'll just take this rubber hammer and tap down here, and that should push that crease all the way out. And I don't care if I get it out a little too far, I can come back with a little body hammer and tap it back in. But I think we can get the majority of that out as well, where we don't have to use but just a, you know, barely a little filler. But let me tackle that and see what that's going to entail. All right, yeah, I'm getting with it. Let's bring the camera over here. Remember all that bad spot? Well, hopefully y'all see that okay. Yeah, I got the majority of that out. So yeah, very little feel going on there. I do like to take the time to get what dents I can out and try to straighten the metal as possible. This top doesn't look that bad. I need to raise it up and get under here, get all this cleaned up. And what I have, one little, don't know what that was, just weird little spot, and whatever that was. I don't think there was an antenna there, but that's about what it looks like, ain't it, guys? Looks like there was an antenna hole there. What's under it? No, it's just a bunch of crud. But anyway, yeah, that's a spot we got to fix. But all in all, it's coming out pretty good. Should get this thing all sanded and primered today, and maybe have enough time to put a little filler on it, and that would work out opportune to let that stuff cure overnight. Well, I flipped it over so I could get, you know, all this stuff sanded down. That stuff's a pain. Luckily, I just used my little deal here with the prep pads, and that does a good job on it. But unfortunately, once I got the grinding down through here, I found rust. Yes, sir. Rust. Well, I think the rust only goes to probably about right here. But the problem is this here, I don't know how well y'all can see it. I'm going to cram the camera under here. See how that lip is right there? Which none of that's really rusty because double wall right through there. So what I think I'll do, I'll just take the grinder itself, grinder blade, and just lay it down in here. And we'll just cut this out and replace that small section. But we'll know more once we get it cut out. But let me do that and just see how bad it is down in there. Yeah, it's not terrible. Just a spot right there, I reckon. It's just a common spot to hold water or something. I would guess, but yeah, let me just cut a little strip, weld that in there, and we'll get some of that weldable primer down in there too. See if we can fix that up a little bit. Maybe get some, do some hand sanding and get that cleaned up a little more, but yeah, we'll fix it. All right, got me a piece cut and welded in there. Let me show y'all just how ugly things are before they get pretty. Yeah, look at that. I mean, welding that in there was quite a pain, and as you can tell, the welder was doing a little bit of spitting and popping on me. But I'm gonna get this ground down, then we'll get some more weld, grind, weld, repeat. And we will get this where it's looking brand new. Alright, got that all ground down. Hit this again with some 80. And now I'm fixing to get some primer on it. I mean, that took care of that rust spot. Yeah, there's some little pinholes here and there where I didn't get everything, like the weld sunk in, or maybe the grinder, or what have you. But that's just fine. We cut the rust out, we put a new piece of metal in, welded her in there, and now we're going to put some primer on it, and then when we go over it with a fine coat of filler, it'll be brand new. Alright, rock and roll. Well, there we have it. I got a couple coats of good primer on that thing. Yeah, it looks really good. Well, I'm happy with that. Now, we'll see how tomorrow goes. We still need to get inside here and run some 80 grit and get that all cleaned up and get some primer on the inside. Probably do that first, and then we'll come back and start laying in some filler in these small spots. So we really don't have much. A little there, this ugly spot there. Over there where we made that patch, you can put a shade around there. And where the 3 bad spots were down there. But that is not a lot of filler compared to what was in this thing, that's for sure. Well, alright y'all. After doing some more research, I was wrong about this primer and using the filler and stuff like that. Goes to show you learn something every day. These newer products and stuff do work different. So, from my research, it is saying still do it like we used to do it back in the day. Put your filler right on the bare metal. And give it ample time to cure, work it, whatever you do. Then you put the epoxy primer on it and it seals everything. So, glad I done the research, because a lot of people are saying if you put filler on this etchable primer that there will be issues. That's why I rechecked, which was well worth doing. Well guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. After doing some editing, I didn't realize the video was getting this long. As far as the fender goes, yes, we will be sanding it down. We will be drilling that hole out. That is where the antenna goes. And I know this gentleman wants a radio and an antenna, because he wants this thing to look factory. So we'll drill that out and get it to where it accepts the antenna again. Like I say, get all this sanded, get our filler put in, and then we'll do our epoxy primer and then block it out. Well, like I say, that's going to wrap this one up. We've gotten a lot done to the old Galaxie this week. Very proud of the work and proud that I learned something new. So it was all good. Well, everyone, if you would, throw me down some comments. If you're able, hit us up on the super thanks below. And please like, share, and subscribe. Again, appreciate it much. Until the next one, we hope that everyone has a fantastic day.